What if your dreams could change reality? And what if every time you woke up, the entire world was different? Today I'm reviewing The Lathe of Heaven by Ursula K. Guin. A short, strange and incredibly clever science fiction novel. It's under 200 pages, but don't let it fool you. This book is packed with ideas, and tension and surprises. And the less you know about it, the better. So I'll keep this review completely spoiler free. This book takes place in a near future Portland where society is struggling with huge problems. Overpopulation, climate disasters and growing social unrest. It feels chaotic and unstable right from the start, and that makes the premise hit even harder. We follow George R., an ordinary, quiet man who discovers something extraordinary and terrifying. His dreams seem to change reality itself. When George wakes up, things around him aren't always the same as they were before. Sometimes it's small, like a color or a memory changing, and sometimes it's much bigger. And here's the unsettling part: no one else notices. To everyone else, this new reality is completely normal. And from the very beginning, this idea hooked me. It's one of those concepts that instantly makes you go, okay, I need to see where this is going. George doesn't understand what's happening to him, and honestly, he just wants it to stop. And to deal with his problem, he is forced into mandatory therapy with a sleep specialist, Dr. William Haber. At first it seems like George has finally found someone who can help him. But as the sessions go on, the dynamic between George and Haber becomes one of the most fascinating parts of the book. Haber is confident, ambitious and maybe a little too curious about George's abilities. And George, on the other hand, is more quiet and cautious and terrified of what his dreams are doing to the world. And I won't go into details about what happens in these therapy sessions, but let's just say they set off a chain of events that makes the story increasingly intense and unpredictable. What makes this book so compelling is the tension. You always feel like something is just slightly off. Le Guin builds this constant sense of unease without relying on action or big dramatic moments. There's this creeping feeling that reality isn't stable, and you're right there with George as he starts questioning what's real and what isn't. And honestly, this is where Le Guin really shines as a writer. She makes you feel disoriented, but not lost. The uncertainty is intentional. You're supposed to feel the ground shifting beneath your feet. For such a short book, the characters are surprisingly well developed. George R. is one of the most relatable protagonists I've ever read in sci-fi. He doesn't want to be special, he doesn't want his powers, he just wants his life back. And Dr. William Haber is fascinating because he isn't a typical villain. He's not evil. He genuinely believes he's helping George, but his ambition and overconfidence make him unpredictable. And then there's Heather Lathe, a lawyer brought into George's case, and she adds an emotional depth to the story. Her presence grounds the book and gives George someone he can actually connect with. And these characters work because, well, they feel real, which makes the strange events around them even more unsettling. Le Guin's writing here is simple and accessible, but always really effective. She doesn't waste any words, yet she manages to create this dreamlike, slightly unstable feeling throughout the book. It's one of those stories where you're constantly second guessing what you're reading. And just when you think you've figured out what's going on, something shifts and you have to readjust. So I would recommend this book if you like short, thought-provoking sci-fi and stories about dreams, identity and alternate realities. And books that make you think, but don't overwhelm you with heavy jargon. If you've read a book like Solaris by Stanislav Lem, or Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick, this will definitely be your thing. So The Lathe of Heaven is weird, clever and full of surprises. It's the kind of book that sticks with you after you finish. You'll find yourself thinking about it days later. It's not perfect. Some readers might find the pacing a little slow, especially if you prefer action-heavy sci-fi. But for me, the slower build actually made the tension work even better. It's short, unique and unforgettable. A must read if you want something different from your usual science fiction. So, have you read The Lathe of Heaven? I'd love to hear what you thought. Spoiler free, of course. And well, if you want more reviews of classic sci-fi, don't forget to subscribe, I guess. And until next time, bye.